Hello, welcome to Trailroad TV. My name is Iain McNay, and today we're going to cover the Martin Newell story. And we have in the studio, of course, Martin Newell. Hello, Martin.
Hi.
We have his dog, Colin, who's come along as well
Colin.
from Wivenhoe today. And we're just going to talk about Martin's career, which is quite a fascinating story. So I guess starting from the musical point of view is The Mighty Plod.
Yeah, I had to move to Essex from Hertfordshire under rather a cloud, and the first thing I did was join a rock group who needed a singer. I was actually a guitarist and I could sing, but not very well.
And you were quite young at this time.
Yeah, I was 19.
Okay.
I was 19,
yeah.
and they liked I think if they didn't actually like what it was that I did initially, they liked the idea of me because I probably looked the part. I've been wearing makeup for about 2 years.
So could you actually sing, or was it?
I did sing, yeah. But I kind of learned the job as we were going along.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I've been a guitarist, just doing backing vocals. I hadn't thought, oh, I'm going to be a singer. I thought I'd be a kind of, somebody's good rhythm guitarist and main songwriter. I modelled myself on people like Ray Davies, who everyone loves, but no one would say he had the best rock voice in the world, but he's got a good Ray Davies type voice. So, Ray Davies, Beatles. I didn't think I'd be a great guitar virtuoso. I thought I would be a good songwriter.
And were you writing songs at this time? Or
yeah,
you just,
I wrote songs since I was 14.
Okay.
I wrote my first song when I was 14. As soon as I knew 3 chords, I didn't think, let's learn a 4th. I thought, let's write a song. It was very much sort of that punk idea.
And it came to you easily, the songwriting?
I struggled a bit with it. I was listening to the Small Faces and the Who and the Move and people like that. And of course, they were all really good songwriters, so they were good tutors.
So you set high standards from right from the start.
Yeah,
then.
I wanted to write songs like that. Pete Townsend was a sort of idol of mine. He wrote really interesting songs. Every Who single was a little opera trying to get out. From Pictures of Lily and I'm a Boy. They weren't girl-boy love songs. They were things about incredibly screwed up people. A young man who was having problems with his adolescence. His dad gave him some gnarled old pin-ups of, I think, probably Lily Langtry. In fact, my daughter is called Lily.
Huh. Because
it was the first single I ever bought, Pictures of Lily.
Huh. So anyway, you joined Plod.
Yeah.
And I know, I was reading on the website earlier today that the first Plod gig, you were mobbed by schoolgirls, screaming schoolgirls.
We were. That was beginner's luck.
That was a good start, wasn't it?
I just thought we were doing a thing called... it was a girls' school, high school in Chigwell, so they were smart girls as well. They were all grammar school girls, I think.
Okay.
And it was an all-girls school, and we'd been booked. Some of the sixth formers had said they wanted a band, and one of the more enlightened mistresses had said, well, we'll get one of these modern bands that somebody got our picture and said they looked the part, because we looked like kind of New York Dolls or The Sweet or something like that, or at least a Happy Shopper version of either of them. And we went down to this school, and of course, they nearly tore us apart. And I just thought, wow, is this what being in a pop group's like? I've always thought you were in a rock group and you had loads of men with curtain hair sort of nodding appreciatively. And now, this is what happens if you do pop. Right, I'm doing pop then. Because I'd always wanted to meet girls.
Absolutely. Okay, and then you toured around for a time in the
the
sort of
second
local
gig
area,
we did, by contrast, was at a skinhead disco, aging, grown-up skinheads, 'cause it was 1973. Suede's, sort of digital watches and suede head hair and sheepskin coats and very naughty-looking girlfriends, very slightly dangerous, steely-looking girlfriends. And they just watched the beginning of our act and there was just silence. And the guy who had the clubs, it was a new penny disco in Stevenage, just said, "You're very good, lads, but I think for your own safety, we've got to get you out of here."
So the boyfriends were going to come and get you?
Well, I think they all were. As we walked through, the crowd sort of parted to absolute silence. We sort of filed out. The roadies were going to take the gear up, and we just sort of got through, because it was 4 floors up, I think it was, ran through this underground car park, got into a motor and just kind of sped off. It felt very electrically dangerous. And that was 2 days
that was
after
the second
girls'
gig.
School, yeah. And the third one was at a big pub in Derby somewhere on the roundabout, and that was kind of okay.
Yeah.
We had to get changed in the kitchen, so there's all these northern dinner ladies kind of looking at us as we're putting on makeup and fluffing our hair up and all the rest. We go, "Oh, ain't it lovely?" And that sort of thing. But that was a strange life. It was really good fun. It was a great thing for a young man to do.
And you were doing that as a living, or it was just a hobby?
Well, it was kind of, we weren't doing anything else. we just about scraped a living. At one point, you know, there would be a little bit of pocket money sometimes. That went on for about 3 months. I went straight from doing nothing to just doing that. And then Sticks, the drummer, and I, we decided we needed some money. Since we were staying up late, why didn't we get jobs as early morning cleaners at Tesco? So we did that, because you only had to do an hour and a half, and you made something like £6 a day. And if we did a few of them, then that got us a bit of pocket money. So, and it didn't really hurt, because we were already up. So we reasoned, sometimes we still went with our makeup on. You know, so it'd be 2 glam rockers cleaning Tesco's floor with mops. But it only lasted 3 months. The guitarist had a bit of a wobbler. He had various, I don't know, problems and dilemmas, and he left, and we were scuppered for a while.
But you recorded some tracks, didn't you?
We did. So that's the thing, you know. It was kind of like the Beatles. There was this club in Ipswich called the Bandbox, and it was very, very rough, but also very friendly. Ipswich is a big port in East Anglia, you know. And American Airmen. There were lots of air bases. You've got American Airmen, British sailors, Dutch sailors, few pimps, the odd, you know, person selling illegal substances, and it was the only late night club in Ipswich which had a licence till 2 o'clock. So everything used to spill up there. They had 6 bouncers, and it was a tiny club, and we had to play 4 sets a night, and it made us tough.
That's serious stuff. 4 sets a night.
Yeah, 4 sets a night. The first time we were told we'd done 3. I thought, this is good. We've done 3 sets, and in the dressing room about 1:30, and the big bouncer came in, Jake. He was a nice guy. He used to swathe himself in brute, massive, big Jamaican guy, and he said, "The boss say you've got to play another set." And I said, "We're not doing another set. Not unless we're getting paid more money." And I sort of pulled out my union card and said, "I'm a member of the Musicians' Union. Let's see what they've got to say about this." Then he said, "Get the boss down." He said, "He won't like it, man. He got a headache." Anyway, then this big monster came down with a moustache, flicking his hair like that, flanked by 2 bouncers, and just said, "Right, which one of you toe rags is smoking this?" And held up a big block of stuff which, actually, even if we were smoking it, we wouldn't have been able to afford that much of it. And I just said, "How long do you want us to play, mister?" And he said, "That's better. Now get out there." But we did that, and afterwards he actually liked us, and he said, "This could be good for you," and he booked us back there to play 3 nights, to do the Thursday, the Friday and the Saturday night every other week for 6 months, and it was our Hamburg.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so when we finally got back to play in the Colchester College, which they, you know, the kind of music snobs, you know, the kind of long-haired people who listen to what I call difficult progressive bands, and who said, "Well, yes, Plod can't really play," that sort of thing. We were actually tight as a gnat's chuff by this time. You know, we were a rocking little unit. Plod were a good band, we were a good live band after about 18 months. So we were young, we learned fast. I mean, the drummer was only 16 when I joined.
So you made some tracks, and I know
we
you
did.
got...
We recorded for a Mr. Oscar so in TMC Studios in Tooting, in London, where the Glitter Band used to record, and it was a proper studio. And of course, because we were all keen, we thought we'd better rehearse recording, hadn't we? So we got my old reel-to-reel, and every night for 2 weeks before we went into the studio, we recorded and practiced and practiced. So of course, once again, we went into the studio, and the engineer, who's used to seeing sloppy bands, just said, he just said, "Wow, where do you guys come from?" We said, "Colchester." And he said, "How do you get that tight?" I said, "Well, we have to play a lot, you know." And then the guys immediately offered us a record contract on the spot, so we all just thought, great, we've done it now, so we can relax. And of course, you sit back and wait. And as I say in the book, as usual, when you do nothing, nothing happens. But we had these good 6 tracks, one of which has come out on a subsidiary,
Velvet Tin Mine, yeah.
And it's only a fragment of what it is. It's been copied over from a tape and a tape.
But I think it was quite fascinating. I was looking at your website, if it's yours, but a Plod website this morning, and they actually had rejection letter signed by George Martin.
Oh yeah, we've been rejected by the best.
And Dave D as well. Rejection letter.
Everybody.
It's amazing they've survived these letters and can now be on the web.
They hated us. They universally hated us.
But George Martin was quite polite.
Well, he probably didn't write it himself. He probably got a secretary to write it. But I never.
But he signed it though.
I never begrudged George Martin anything. I just think he's just one of the world's great gentlemen, really.